Okay.
Okay, yeah. Good. So, good afternoon, Brother Lau, Sister Sumitra, and Sister Doris. So today I'll present this YMBA Senior 2 Abhidhamma Assignment 2. The topic is wholesome or moral consciousness are found in all four planes of existence. What difference do you notice according to their function? So today is 23rd March 2025. I, Brother JH Koh, will present the case. So, introduction. So this, in the Theravada Abhidhamma, there are 89 cittas or consciousness in the planes of existence called Bhūmi. Actually, it's three planes, but the question mentioned about four planes because Lokutara is not considered as a plane. So I actually put three planes instead of the four planes. So these 89 cittas are divided into Kāmāvacara, 54 cittas, Rūpāvacara, 15 cittas, Arūpāvacara, 12 cittas, and the Lokutara or the supramundane, there are 8 cittas. And Lokutara is actually beyond these three planes, three spheres. There's another way of looking at these 89 cittas. That is, it can also be divided into four types or the nature. So one is called the unwholesome consciousness or akusala citta. Then the second one is the kusala citta, wholesome consciousness. The third one is the vipaka cittas or resultant consciousness. And the fourth one is the kriya cittas or the functional consciousness. So let's look into the kusala citta. What are the kusala cittas? So with regards to this topic, the wholesome consciousness or the kusala cittas referred to are actually one, the 8 great wholesome consciousness or Mahakusala citta in Kāmāvacara, or sometimes they call it the 8 Sobhana Kusala citta because it's beautiful, beautiful sense sphere consciousness. The second one is the 5 form or the Rupa Kusala cittas in the Rupa Vachara. And the third one is under the formless. There are 4 formless wholesome consciousness or 4 Arupa Kusala citta in the Arupa Vachara. And finally, there are 4 path consciousness or the 4 Magga cittas in Lokutara. So that adds up to 21 cittas, wholesome cittas. So in the 5 sense door and mind door cognitive process of VT, this kusala citta performs the function of impulse or javana. The volition or the cittana mental factor or cittasika associated with this javana creates karma, which then has the potential to bear fruit when ripened. And when they ripen, where that is in that very course of life, that means in the Parvati, that means from birth to death. That is the course of life. And that means this Chaitana has the potential of bearing fruits during that life period. Or it can be in future lives in the form of rebirth linking consciousness, Patisandhi, or in the course of existence of future lives. That is the Parvati of the future lives. So now let's delve deeper into the Kāmāvacara Kusala Citta. So these are the 8 Mahakusala Citta. So the first function we function is to abstain or restrain one from doing bad or unwholesome deeds. This is something like the precepts, the 5 precepts against killing, against stealing, against sexual misconduct, against lying, or against taking intoxication or drugs or alcohol. And the citta seeker that functions in this abstinence is actually mainly by the hiri and the otapa, the fear and the shame of doing bad or unwholesome actions. And these are the key mental factors that generates the abstention. Then the next function of Mahakusala citta is to encourage one to do good or the wholesome deeds. These are the active part. Just now the abstain is more of the passive, that means preventing. Here is actually actively engaged, doing the good. For example, like being kind, helpful, generous. Generous is, in a way, these 3 can be considered as part of jaga and practice and have good ethic or morality, which is sila. Then the third one is to cultivate positive and wholesome mind, which is bhavana. So these are the positive, active part of the Mahakusala cittas. So these actions or deeds could be through words or through their body or in their mental thoughts. So these are the words, verbal, bodily actions, and the mental. So the results of these wholesome deeds or actions, when it happens, will lead to be a good living condition in that very life. No? So this can happen in that very life, and it will generate good living conditions. Just like, for example, a person who is hardworking, so during that life, you'll be able to upgrade his economic status and live a more pleasant life. And the second part is in later life. That means subsequent lives. You could be reborn in 6 good, favorable sensual realms. That means human realms and the 6 devada realms. And on top of that, they could be with favorable conditions. So these are the benefits or the results of the wholesome deeds of Mahakusala, the 8 Mahakusala cittas. And the beings here are attached to sensual desire. That means they still enjoy sensual desire, the karma pleasure, the sensual pleasure. Then next we go to Rupavachara Kusala Cittas. So these 5 Rupa Kusala Cittas are wholesome jhana cittas, meaning they are actually in meditative absorptions. So these mental states are obtainable through tranquility or concentration, meditation, or samatha bhavana. There are 5 jhana factors, namely initial thought, vitaka, sustained thought, vichara, zest, piti, happiness, sukha, and one pointedness, ekaggata. But depending on the levels of the jhana factors vary. For the first jhana citta, all the 5 jhana factors are present. That means the first jhana kusala citta have all the 5 jhana factors. That means the vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekaggata. Then the second jhana citta, it will drop the vitaka, left with 4 jhana factors, that is vichara, piti, sukha, and ekaggata. The third jhana citta has piti, sukha, and ekaggata, which is left 3 jhana factors. Fourth will have left 2 jhana factors, which is sukha and ekaggata. Then the fifth jhana also have 2 jhana factors, but the feelings of sukha is now neutral, which is upekha. And so fourth and fifth jhana both have two jhana factors. So these jhana factors help to suppress the mental hindrances, nivarana. And what are these nivarana? That is the sensual desire, kamachanda, the ill will, vyapada, sloth and torpor, tina mida, restlessness and remorse, udacha and kukucha, doubt, vichikicha. But these are only temporary. That means when they are in jhana, these five hindrances are being suppressed. But once they come out from jhana, then these five hindrances may still what you call arise in the mind of the yogi. So as a result of this, the meditator has deep concentration. That means when they are in jhana, that means they have very deep samadhi. And these jhanic absorptions are more refined and they transcend the central realms. That means these five jhana chittas transcend the central realms, the Kāmāvacara. So when it happens, these jhana, rupa jhana chittas will lead one to be reborn as a Brahma in the 16 rupa realms. And here the Brahma beings have very refined body and they live and sustain by their jhanic bliss. Except the asanya satta realm, the non-percipient realm, where the Brahma here had only body but no mind, as mentioned by Brother Lau just now in his presentation. Thus, though they have transcended the sensual desires, they are still attached to the rupa, that means the form, and the existence bhava, that means they still precious their life. They want to live a life with refined body and in jhanic bliss. So that is where the bhava comes about. Then the third part, we go to arupa, vachara, kusala, citta. So these four arupa, kusala, cittas in the arupa vachara are equivalent to the fifth rupa jhana. That means the fifth form absorption. But they have the equanimity feeling, that means the upeka vedana, and one pointedness as their jhana factors. So these four arupa kusala chittas, each of the arupa chittas have different objects, different meditation objects. And actually they progresses in terms of subtleness of the object. So the first arupa kusala citta is based on infinite space. The second arupa is based on infinite consciousness. The third one is based on nothingness. And the fourth one is neither perception nor non-perception. So it's even more refined at the fourth arupa kusala citta. So these are even higher concentration meditation, and they actually transcend form and material perception. That means they transcend all kinds of materiality. They do not like body. In fact, body to them is a burden. So they prefer to stay in their mind or in their jhanic bliss. So when it ripens, these arupa kusala chittas will bear result. And one will be reborn as Brahma in the four arupa ranks, depending on their arupa jhana attainments at the point of their death. So if their attainment is at first arupa kusala citta, then upon their rebirth, they will be reborn as first arupa vipaka patisandhi. Similarly with the second, the third, and the fourth. So the Brahmas here have no body. When they are reborn in the arupa realms, they don't have body. There's no material, no rupa. They only have the mind, nama, meaning to say they have only the four aggregates. There's no rupa aggregates. No. However, they are still attached to existence. That means they attach to the existence as a arupa Brahma. So there is a arupa bhava attachment here. So next we go to the fourth stage, which is Lokutara. And this Lokutara refers to the four Magga Chittas. Lokutara Kusala Chitta refers to the four Magga Chittas in the supramundane. And these are the results of walking the noble path. That means the eight noble path. These Magga Chittas help to eradicate the defilements, the kilesa. There are 10 kilesas. And these Magga Chittas actually eradicate the kilesas permanently. And they have, these Magga Chitta have Nibbana as their object. They function to eradicate the mental defilements progressively and thus result in progressive degree of enlightenment. So because of the gradual eradication of defilements, it also indicates their gradual progressive degree of enlightenment. So let's look into the detail of the defilements they eradicate. The first path, Sotapanna Magga, eradicates personality view, which is Sakaya Ditti, doubt, Vicikicca, and attachment to rites and rituals. Silabbata Paramasa. So the third attachment, Silabbata Paramasa, is actually a form of Ditti, a form of wrong view, Miccha Ditti too. Yeah. So the second part, Sakadagami Magga, it eradicates the causal part of the sensual desire, the Kāmāvacara, and the ill will, Vyapada. That means these are the lobha and the dosa part. Okay? But it's the cause one. They still have Kāmāvacara and still have Vyapada, but the final subtle one, they have not eradicated. And the third path is Anagami Magga. It eradicates totally the sensual desire and the ill will. That means there is no lobha, there is this sensual desire, and there is no ill will. Then the fourth one is the Arahata Magga, and this Arahata Magga totally eradicates the balance. There is all the 10 defilements, 10 kilesa, and as a result of that, the yogi attain arahantship, which means that they have transcended all suffering. So after this parinirvana, an arahant will not be reborn because there is no becoming. So when we look at the ripening of the Magga, so in the case of the Sotapanna person, that means the person is a Sotapanna Pala person, that means the fruits of first Arya. At most, they will be reborn 7 times in the 6 good central realms, the Sukati Bhūmi, or it means a human, should be 7 good central realms. That is the human realm, or the 6 Deva realms. And then after that, you will attain arahantship. That is at most, it could be 1 time, it could be 2 times, or at most, the most time is 7 times. 7 more lives are in that sense. Whereas for the Sakadagami person, you'll be reborn once in the central realm. That is the Kāmāvacara. And after that, you'll probably reborn in the higher realms and then attain arahantship, or within the human realm, then you can attain arahantship depending on case by case. And then for the Anagami, the third Arya person, they have eradicated the central desire. So they will not be reborn in the central realm, that is the Kāmāvacara. But they will be, the yogi will be reborn upon death upon that they'll be reborn in the fifth Rupa Jhana ranks called pure and voice. Su, Suvadasi, or something like that. I think I can't remember exactly the Pali term. Then the fourth is the Arahant. So those who have attained Arahant will not be reborn, and they will pass on to Nirvana, which is the deathlessness, which is also named as peace, or is also named as unconditioned. So what are the differences, or what can we conclude from here? So the key difference in these four levels, that means the kusala in Kāmāvacara, kusala in Rupa Vachara, and then the kusala chittas in the Arupa, and then the four magas in the Lokutara. What are the key difference? And the key difference lie in the increasing refinement of the wholesome consciousness. What does it mean? For example, let's look from it this way. From sensual desires, from the Kāmāvacara, then to the form, that is the Rupa Vachara, and then to the formless, the Arupa Vachara, and then to the total eradication of the craving. That is Arahant. See, so these are the gradual refinement that as we go, it becomes more and more refined. And from the abstinence, for example, the kusala, mahakusala, it starts with abstinence. Then after that, you have suppressions through jhana. And then you have eradications through the magga of defilement. Or we can also look at it from the increasing ability to reduce and finally transcend suffering altogether. It means, as a Puthujjana, that means as a non-practitioner, we have a lot of sufferings, human sufferings, society suffering, thinking suffering. Then as once attained jhana, it suppresses much of the suffering. Then once you come to the Lokutara, because of the eradication of defilements, the sufferings reduce substantially until upon an attainment of enlightenment, then the sufferings is fully eradicated. So it actually transcends the suffering altogether. So we can also look at it from another perspective. That means each level, in a way, also represent an increasing subtlety of the attainment in terms of understanding of reality. That is the Paramatta. This, as one understands better and better of what the reality is, that is also an indication of the progress. And the second one is the letting go of attachments. For example, from Kāmāvacara to Rupa, there's a letting go of a lot of sensual desires. And then when from Rupa to Arupa, there's even letting go of the material, the form, the Rupa. Then from Arupa to Lokutara, even the five aggregates is been let go of. So it culminates into total freedom from the samsaric cycle. That is by being an Arahant. So these are the subtle, the increasing subtle attainment of the kusala chittas. So the words in italics are in Pali. That's the end of my presentation. So this is the notes. And the reference I have is based on the knowledge that I've gathered from various teachers, be it lay and Sangha, and also from the various books that I've read. And I have also referred to novel websites for guidance in terms of presentations and also in terms of arrangement of the presentation. So with that, I'll thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good word.
demonstrating.
I hope you can remember everything because this is a repetition question every year. You can come out the whole thing. I can say you score 20 marks.
I think assignment is one thing, but
The
then
day
coming to
is a
exam is
repetition
another.
question. You can see the past year. Is because senior part 2, they never said fantastic question. All you see the past year, the 2010 until 2024, there are not much changes. I give you one more assignment before you come back or join a session. This one, can you note down? Or I type to you later.
Okay. You forward in the
Okay,
group.
sure. Okay,
Group
name the
WhatsApp.
consciousness. Just now we just completed. Name the consciousness that arise dependent or independent of the heart base. Remember earlier? I asked you to name out the consciousness that arise dependent or independent of heart base. So when you come back, then you present this. I will type in the slide. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Your homework. So I see you
Okay.
when you're back from meditation.
Thank you.
Not easy. This one you can come out all these questions in exam. Then you'll be a scholar. Okay, so good luck to you. So I hope see you in 2 weeks' time.
Brother Lau, it's
Yeah,
not so much about scoring, it's the amount of understanding that helps me.
yeah, but problem is
Uh,
whether you can present during exam. That's a very, very critical understanding. Is they can take time to study, but exam wise, up to you. Yeah, your own effort. So, Sister Sumita, your turn.
Okay, good afternoon to Brother Lau, Brother Koh, and Sister Doris. Actually, the question is based on the past year exam of year 2010, question number 7, where we write short notes on any 4 of the question of the followings. And I was assigned Kāmāvacara and Mahaggata citta. So this is what I will be focused on. In fact, the detail had been elaborated by Brother Koh just now. Mine is a very brief note. So I'll start with the first one, Kāmāvacara. According to the Buddhist cosmology, we had coined 31 planes of existence, which can be categorized as 4 major planes of Bhūmi. These are the 4 planes where we have the Kāmāloka or the sense sphere or sensuous world. Second one being the fine material of form sphere, Rupaloka. The third one being immaterial or formless sphere or Arupaloka. And the supramundane sphere or the Lokatora Loka. So the Kāmāloka consists of 11 realms in which they experience both pleasurable or unpleasurable states of mind, which is dominated by the 5 senses. 7 of these realms are favorable destination. It includes our own human realm as well as the 6 realms occupied by the devas, as well as the 4 woeful states such as Asura, the hungry ghost in the Petaloka, the animal in the Tirachana Yoni, and the hell beings in the Niraya. Now we will see how it means. Kāmāvacara means frequently arising in the Kama Bhūmi or the sensual sphere. So where avachara means arising frequently or translated as sphere. So Kama means sensual things that are related to the 5 sense doors. It comprises of both the subjective sensuality, that is, craving for sensual pleasure, and the other aspect will be the objective sensuality, which are the 5 external sense objects that includes the visible form, rupa aramana, sound, sada aramana, smell, ganda aramana, taste, rasa anamana, and tangible object, which is the potapa aramana. This term applies to the 11 grades of beings who are still under the influence of the sensual desires and pleasures, as well as to all thoughts and conditions arising in this sphere of sensuous experience. Particular sphere of consciousness comprises of those types of consciousness which are typical of the corresponding planes of existence, which frequent that plane by tending to arise most often there. It pertains to the realm of consciousness, specifically dealing with the sensory pleasure, moral action, and attachment. This consciousness includes various forms of pleasure and is heavily influenced by sensory experience, including both beautiful and sublime aspects. Ultimately, Kāmāvacara highlights the challenges and the moral consideration associated with engaging in sensory pleasure and the impact of wisdom and joy on these experiences. According to Patana Dhamma, Kāmāvacara refers to the category of cittas that relates to action within the sensual realm, including both wholesome and unwholesome actions. There are 54 Kāmāvacara cittani, or sensual sphere consciousness. They are grouped as 12 unwholesome consciousness consisted of 8 rooted in greed, 2 rooted in hatred, and 2 rooted in delusion. There are 18 rootedness consciousness, 7 wholesome, 8 unwholesome, and 3 functional. Last but not least, 24 beautiful consciousness, 8 wholesome, 8 resultant, and 8 functional. These are the notes that I have for Kāmāvacara. Now we come to the 6th term, Mahaggata citta. Mahaggata is an adjective which means being great or lofty. It literally means grown, great, that is developed, exalted, supernormal. As Mahaggata citta, it is the state of developed consciousness attained in the 5 material and immaterial absorptions in the jhana state. It is mentioned in the mind contemplation of Satipatthana Sutta, where the primary purpose of jhanic states is to do with insight meditation and to remove asavas, which means the rancors or taints, or the mental defilements or impurity that binds beings to the cycle of sufferings and rebirth. As a result, the Mahaggata cittas are sublime, lofty, or exalted consciousness because they are free from the hindrances and are pure, elevated, great states of mind. There are altogether 27 Mahaggata cittas, or 20, or also known as 27 Majjhima cittas. They are called Mahaggata cittas because they are higher than Kāmāvacara citta in terms of purity of defilements. Mahaggata means superior. So they are called Majjhima cittas because Majjhima means the middle, because they are inferior to Lokuttara cittas or supramundane consciousness, but they are superior to Kāmāvacara citta. Rebirth into these 2 realms is achieved by attaining the respective meditative jhana state. These 27 cittas are also called jhana cittas because they are all related to jhanaka or jhana factor, which is part of the jhana or absorption. It comprises of the 15 fine material sphere consciousness, This Rupa Vachara Chittani consists of 5 wholesome consciousness, 5 resultant consciousness, and 5 functional consciousness, which is ranging from the 1st to the 5th jhana states, and 12 immaterial sphere consciousness, which is the Arupa Chittani, which is comprises of 4 wholesome consciousness, 4 resultant consciousness, and 4 functional consciousness pertaining to the 4 bases, which is infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, and neither perception and non-perception. For 5 material sphere, wholesome consciousness is experienced by whirling and the trainees, or known as the Seka, who developed the Rupa jhanas within this lifetime. They may take various meditative objects such as the kasinas, etc. The responding results of vipaka arises only in the 5 material world. They may be reborn as the consequence of developing the jhana. So the 5 functional or kriya jhana chittas are experienced only by the arahant who attain the jhanas. As for the immaterial sphere, the whirling and the Seka who had attained Arupa jhana consciousness could be reborn here. The Arupa jhana is the development of concentration beyond the 5 Rupa jhana. Each Arupa jhana apprehends just one subject specific to itself. They no longer have any jhana factor, but instead transcending each successively subtler object. So that's all I can get from these references. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Great work. So I think can end the session. See you all in 2 weeks' time.